quite a full kayak today, because today we're going to head down the Wayford to a spot I found in one of my earlier videos to do a wild camp for tonight. It's a beautiful day, beautiful late June day or mid-June day here on the Norfolk Broads. So we're going to paddle up at about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock and quietly set up camp, find a good place to set up camp and you know, have a night wild camping. Never done that before. This is my first ever wild camp. So I'm sure I've forgotten something and there'll be something that go wrong, but you'll be along for the journey as well. Okay. Home sweet home for the night. Little pull in here, quiet, hopefully no mosquitoes, and under that branch there is where we're going to pitch the tent because you can't see it from the river, and I can store the kayak further inland. Here we go, wild camp 1. So what I'm going to do, because it's still only 6 o'clock and there's quite a lot of boat traffic still, I'm going to set the tent up where I want it, put the pegs out but leave it flat, and then later on I can just flip it up and there's no tent in sight from the shoreline. It's a lovely spot. You've got the marshes that way. Got a little marsh cut coming through here. And we've got the River Ant over there. Sun's going to set that way. The sun's going to come up tomorrow morning over there somewhere. So we'll have morning on the Ant. Let's get a cup of tea going here. What I'm using is a really cool little stove set, which is, you got the big pot, smaller pot, cup, the mini burner that I showed you, knife, fork and spoon, and washing up sponge, all in one set for 20 quid on Amazon, and it's a really good compact set. I'm going to cook my supper in this tonight. Well, it's actually just water I need for the supper because I'm using, well, we'll talk about supper later because that's a whole different ball game, but we'll probably do that later. But I'm a bit peckish now, so a few biscuits and a cup of tea would be lovely. So, I think the reason I like this spot is because a lot of camping on the Broads, ductless landing, you're just kind of limited to a narrow strip between the river and maybe the trees or the marshes. But this spot's nice. I think there's a duck. This spot's nice because you've got the river there and then this small cut which leads you to a little set of marshes over here, so you've got this open area here. Which means you can see the sunset on this side and you're not cramped in a small area. I can wander over that way and get some drone footage, which I will do at sunset. Maybe this is their home. I don't know. They've been sort of with me all day. Those 7 swans. With a mum and a dad and 5 little cygnets. Just saw a kingfisher. My first ever kingfisher flying straight through here. Beautiful aqua, green and blue on its wings, flying straight through. Very fast. Time for supper. So tonight we are going to have pasta bolognese. This is a high energy, 600 calories. There it is. Eat out the pouch. 1 portion, 8 minutes, quick and easy. So just add water. What you do is you add water up to the 10 mark. And then you put it up to there. So let's see how we do that. Close, zipper, allow to stand. $8:15. Supper's ready at 8:23. Certainly warms you up. So it's 10 o'clock. The bird noises are beautiful. Cuckoos, I'm not quite sure what those were that came over with the high squeaks. I'll do some research into that and find out. But very, very beautiful out here at the moment. I'm going to sleep well tonight. And then in the morning, probably paddle down to Barton Broad. Get up early, have some breakfast and do that. The swans behind me. That's their nest. They've been past me a couple of times. I'm trying to keep my voice down because every time I raise my voice they complain. Stanley and Stephanie aren't happy. Ah! So I just heard a noise outside the tent. So I got up thinking it was the swans again. But actually, it was an enormous buck deer that stomped across the marshes here. At about 4:45 in the morning. And he was enormous, and he just stomped there through the mist and the grass and stood there for a while and barked twice. And before I got my camera, of course, he was gone. But what a way to wake up. I slept surprisingly well. Mind you, when I said it was when the deer came, it was probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. Because it's 4:30 now. Anyway, breakfast. Expedition breakfast this morning, which is a mix of porridge, fruits, nuts. By the way, these are good. These are foldable utensils. So you have a knife. Quite a sharp knife actually. Fork and spoon. Still got some supper on there. There you go, ducks. But fold up, good size, really good. Again, came with the Amazon set, 20 quid. One thing about kayaking and wild camping is you've got to really plan what you're bringing, pack small. And bring just what you need. This being my first trip, I think I could have probably brought more water. Water is really important, of course, especially now it's getting towards summertime. I probably bought about 2 litres, 2.5 litres, but for everything, probably need about 3 litres of water minimum. Warmer sleeping bag. Even though it is summer, it still need a warmer sleeping bag. And socks. Socks and proper shoes. Oh, this should be ready soon. That's boiling. That's up to 6. So we have the tea. Getting professional at this now. Re-zip, and let's stand for need my glasses. Anyway, I'll leave that stand. I just realised, I think, these trails through the marshes here, which I thought were people walking, trying to talk here, cuckoo, thank you, are probably from the deer, because they're not very wide, not footprints. They zigzag all through here and around there. And that's where I saw the deer this morning. He was probably originally there in that brush, and then he headed across that way. So these could be deer tracks. Pack in, pack out, leave no trace. 5:30 in the morning, heading down the river and in the mist, the sunrise coming up, to Barton Broad. Here we are, Barton Broad. Probably one of the most peaceful, easiest paddles I've ever done. Not a ripple on the water, not any wind, just flat like a mirror. Probably normally would have taken me about an hour to do what I just did in 20 minutes. And over here's the Broad, one of the biggest Broads on the Norfolk Broads, Barton Broad.